popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Too bad. Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to Jurassic World. I'm Eddie Collins. And this is me, Justin Brown, also known as the ghost of Steve Irwin. I don't know what that was. That was unhinged. But hey, folks, we are talking about Jurassic World Rebirth, medium popcorn. We are going to spoil the hell out of this movie. So if you have not seen it yet, just giving you a heads up. It's all your fault if you get upset and it gets spoiled for you. Yeah, baby. So if you're a listener to this podcast, you know I love Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. I worked at I specifically applied for the Universal Writers Program because I love Jurassic Park so much. So of course, Jurassic World, Dominion, Rebirth, because Dominion was god awful. That's one of the
it was.
Dominion and Fallen Kingdom. Like Rebirth is a huge step above that because of obvious reasons. Those are just so bad that Scarlett Johansson, she could have just she could have just sat with her like in a bikini next to a velociraptor the whole fucking time, and it would have been better than the past two movies.
I mean, I think most people wouldn't mind her just sitting in a bikini anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Did you know that she's the highest grossing actress of all time because of this movie now?
Really?
Yeah, because the fucking Avengers, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, because Samuel Jackson, I think, is one of the I think he's maybe the second or third, but like between Avengers. She was in something else. She's in another series that she made mad money. But yeah, she's like the highest grossing actress, which is crazy.
Good for her.
But yeah. I mean, and okay, real quick, folks, we got to do some housekeeping. Please consider signing up at Patreon, patreon.com/mediapopcorn, support the show. You know, things are getting a little crazy over here. We got to keep the lights on. So anything is appreciated. We got $2 to $15 tiers. It all helps support the show. And if you don't want to commit to a monthly commitment with Justin and I, we get it. You know, some people just like to stay single, baby. They like to keep their options. So take yourself over to ko-fi.com/mediapopcorn. You can donate up to $5 to $10, just at one time, baby. The cost of a coffee or medium popcorn. Send it over to us. Support the show.
We need this.
We're not getting deals like Scarlett Johansson. Okay, Scarlett Johansson got a lot of money from this movie because they really sped this up. This had a very tight timeline. The original screenwriter David Koepp, or I'm probably butchering his last name, but he's the one who wrote Jurassic Park, right? The first one. They basically Universal. My understanding is they commissioned him to come up with this idea. He said it came to him. I'm like, yeah. It came to you after Universal's like, nigga, we need a movie.
money, nigga.
A summer movie for fucking 2025 because they didn't have anything on the docket. So that's why it's such a quick turnaround because initially they weren't going to go with Gareth Edwards. They were going to go with David Leitch, who I think did the movie of Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt last year. What was that? What he's the stuntman? Fuck. Why am I blanking on the movie? Yeah, right. It's like
Fall Guy. Fall Guy. There you go.
Yeah. They wanted him, but he was like, "You guys want this in less than a year? Like that's insane, right?"
Yeah.
They got Gareth Edwards, who we reviewed The Creator, which stars the Woodman, John David Washington, and probably his best performance, I would say. But visually, we were both like, "Yo, this is pretty fucking cool." Like some of these visuals are really cool, and so. That's probably, in Jurassic World, that's what you want, right? You want cool looking dinosaurs and stuff. And it's weird because the best scenes in the movie are completely separate from the Scarlett Johansson Mahershala Ali storyline. There's two different storylines in this shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
It's kind of weird, but
really weird.
It kind of is in a bit, I felt like almost like a throwback to the original Jurassic Park.
That is fair. Yeah, when the kids got separated with Alan Grant and like the others.
Yeah.
That's
so like
That's good.
I very much felt that, and I appreciated that about this film being like more closely tied to the original. But yeah, there are some, as my dad would call it, Hollywood, in this movie because, like, I mean, yeah. Them kids should have been dead, especially one kid in particular.
Oh yeah, that little girl who's played by Adriana Miranda. She plays Isabella Delgado.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Isabella ain't gonna be with her daddy after this trip. She's never gonna see her daddy again because child services.
No, this is the last. This is the last ride. I mean,
the older sister even says that, right, to the dad. She's like, mom's never gonna let you have us again, right?
Yeah.
Because even Mahershala Ali's like, why the fuck were you sailing in this water that might still have dinosaurs in it? Like, that's insane. But yeah, that little girl gets so fucked up from the boating incident, which that terrified me. That would terrify the fuck out of me, right?
Yeah,
but that was a really cool.
She was a mute.
Yeah, she didn't talk for like 30 minutes. It took a little little triceratops to get her to like.
Was that what it was?
I don't know, man, because that was what annoyed me about this movie. They do all these hybrid dinosaurs, right? Like the Indominus Rex they introduced in the first Jurassic World, but then they have a T-Rex, like a rare T-Rex. So I'm like, why do you have all these hybrids, and then you have a rare T-Rex, and then you have Dilophosaurus, but like everything else is a hybrid, like a weird ass dinosaur creation. Like it was just
all right. Hold on. The dinosaur at the end, the Resident Evil dinosaur, was that the what the hell was that?
That's the thing from the very beginning, like the lab that they were experimenting on.
I know. Okay. I thought that was like something that we saw in a previous film.
No, the Stortus Rex or something like that. It looked like
whatever the fuck that was.
Looked like the creature from not Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. That big like cave monster that Jabba the Hutt tries to get to kill. Was it Luke?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I think you could just call it a Resident Evil monster.
Yeah,
that's what it really.
It looked really ugly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what this movie actually is. Let's talk about the two different storylines. Let's talk about Zora Bennett first, who's played by Scarlett Johansson. She's a covert operative who's hired by this guy, Rupert Friend, who plays...
Nothing about this white woman says a name like Zora.
No. They're like they do the exposition where she's like, he's sourcing her in the car and stuff like that, where they're like stuck in traffic because there's a big-ass dinosaur that's blocking the Brooklyn Bridge because it's still a world where dinosaurs still exist. They've just been slowly dying off, right?
Yeah.
And so that was like cool. It was like, all right, so we're still in this world where dinosaurs are still kind of out here, right? And so he's like, oh, I know that you're the best. And she's like, I am. I've lost a lot of good men, though, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, I'll pay you so much money that you won't even have to worry about, your trauma anymore or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And so basically, then they go to this paleontologist played by Jonathan Bailey. His character is Dr. Henry Loomis, which I was like, that's clearly a throwback to Loomis from fucking Psycho. I see it. Every time a Loomis name is mentioned, it all goes back to Psycho. Anyways, I was like, Jonathan Bailey, did you watch Wicked?
No.
Okay. He's like the main love interest guy in Wicked, and he's great. Like, he's good in it, right? Even though he looks significantly old to be like in college. And like in this movie, I was just kind of like, man, they're really trying to make this guy Halfman, huh?
I mean, he white. Yeah. They love to make white dudes happen, baby.
That's true. Mahershala Ali, man, he looked like he was just like, yo, this is the best check I've ever gotten. Like he kept smiling, like the way you just laughed and smiled, like that's what it felt like he was doing.
Well, I mean, he's been sitting around waiting for fucking Blade to get off the ground, but he's just like, I'm just happy to work now.
Yeah, have you been seeing the Express tour? He's just been deflecting those questions. He's like, oh, just ask Scarlett about Marvel. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yep. Which he as he should. But Brandon, I said it on this podcast a long time ago. Blade ain't happening. They shouldn't have tried to make it happen with Mahershala. I thought it was a wrong way to go. People hated me. They said, Justin, that's so wrong. He's gonna be great in it. I was like, absolutely not, because he's not gonna fill the shoes of Wesley Snipes anyways. So you might as well find somebody else, especially once shit start getting fucked up.
See, I think he could have done it. It's just that he's getting older, and I think that it's wild. Like it's not clear if it's him because he's so particular with the projects he picks. But I mean, if you read this script for Jurassic World Rebirth, I don't want to imagine based on what we saw. He's like, yeah, this is it, right? Like I think it's just like, hey, they're gonna throw so much money at you.
Hold on, let me tell you a part of it and why a part of it is him. This nigga's 51 years old.
He looks great.
Yeah, he does. But he's 51 years old. How much time does he have to be playing the fucking Daywalker and doing all that and doing all those stunts that are necessary to play Blade?
But that's just, I mean, that's stuff that you have to take account of, like, especially like with something like where your universe building and stuff, and depending on how often they want to use Blade, and for sure. And like, this was announced what 6-8 years ago, maybe. I don't fucking. It was a long time ago. Like,
it was right before the pandemic.
It was before they were promoting Eternals. They were like, yeah, we're bringing Eternals out and shit. Like, and so it is very alarming. And they just announced that, it was an interview. Ruth E. Carter, who did the costumes for Sinners, they bought a lot of that shit from Disney for the background actors from the Blade movie that they were working on. So Blade was actually at one point going to be a period piece. And I'm like, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't age, so you can do it you can do Blade in any fucking. It's crazy. And it makes me wonder if Ryan Coogler really did pitch Blade to Marvel and they were like, nah, we're good. And he's like,
just like, all right, get them vampire shits going.
Okay, now it's like I was excited to work with rehearsal possibly, but now I'll just give Michael. And hey, Mike, you want to play 2 roles and get paid twice as much? All right, cool.
All right, good. Yeah. Let's do it.
It's insane. But so Mahershala Ali plays this guy named Duncan, who Zara
is her partner from in the past. They work together,
and she loops them in on the mission so they can all get cake. They can all kick off this mission. I mean, it's weird because they're oddly confident for like a mission that requires them to extract DNA from specifically mutated dinosaurs that
live,
live ones that live in this isolated hemisphere where like it's the only like climate that like all these dinosaurs can still live and thrive.
Yeah.
Right. So they're dealing with like not only the elements in general, but then like these dinosaurs are still out and about and shit.
Yeah.
Defending their territory and stuff. And they're just like, piece of cake. Yeah. Give us a few million. And Mahershala's
but listen, nigga, you put $10 million on the table. Niggas start hunting dinosaurs.
True. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Patreon.com/media popcorn, because, I get it. When bills start piling up and like, money's getting a little tight, and jobs tight. It's like, you start getting to a point where you're like, you think about old movies where people used to get paid like $5,000 to kill a person. And you're like, I kind of get it. I get it now.
Listen, I'm there for that. Hold on. I'm going to send you something. I want you to play this later, Brandon, but hold it to your chest for the time being. This is for this episode. I'm sending this to you right now because I sent this to my brother earlier, but this is very pertinent. Yeah, like, bro, like when you say, actually, no, she also doubled it. They got they played that little fucking game. They got him. It was $20 million. This split between like 4 people.
Yeah, it's a pharmaceutical company that's going to use this DNA to basically cure cancer, right? So yeah. They're going to make billions upon billions. And then you got Jonathan Bailey's character over here whispering in Zora's ear, like, hey, you could just release the information on the web and it's free source and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, so we're doing all that shit now. We're talking about all that stuff as if like that's not going to lead to like some nefarious deeds anyway. But
listen, niggas died out here. Nah, niggas, we got to get paid.
I mean, yeah, because they're not even just dying like a regular, like, oh man, they like, got sick or whatever. Like niggas are getting bit to like chop by like dinosaurs.
Motherfucker got swallowed by a big ass fucking bird, like snapped by the beak and gluck.
Yeah,
like,
that poor brother. Yeah. He was hanging off that cliff. I was like, he ain't gonna make it.
Yo, another one grabbed this nigga off the ship. It's just like, got your ass, and then dragged him into the water. And then all the other dinosaurs.
African guy.
Yeah. And then they all converged on him and they ripped him apart.
Mind you, the little girl watched that happen after she already like almost got killed. And we're going to talk about the little girl and her family after she almost got killed in the ocean where they got capsized.
But hold on, Brandon. We ain't done yet. Then the chick, they finally get ashore. And she's sitting there fucking around with shit. Next thing you know, dinosaur just like, got your ass, and drags her ass right back in the water. And you hear her screaming as they're just ripping her apart. It's like, yeah, bro, nah, you need to get paid for this shit.
Yes.
All the monies. Yeah. Let's open source this shit into my bank account. That's the source.
I know Scarlett Johansson's over here hanging off a fucking boat, which, by the way, that like contraption that she like locked herself in, like she's fucking what's his name from Jaws. I'm like, it's not 1978 anymore. You need more than this. And
that was nuts.
I was like, she would have broke her back, right? The way that she was twisted and shit.
I will tell you one thing. Her ass would have been goddamn dinosaur food for sure.
I did write down. I was like, Scarlett Johansson's a very interesting. She's had a very interesting career because, like, yes, she's beautiful and sexy, but she's a great actress. But I was like, man, like I remember seeing her for the first time like in Ghost World, like in the like late '90s, and it was like her. It was a movie like it's a really small independent film. It's her, Tora Birch. Do you remember her? She was like an American Beauty and like because she had the big titties.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Buscemi. And I remember like Tora Birch was like the it girl at the time when that movie came out because Scarlett Johansson was this kind of awkward, raspy voice, like teenager. And people were like, who's this actress? And I think she blew up with Lost in Translation. I think that's the movie that kind of put her on the map. Yeah. But like her trajectory to go from that to like Black Widow in the MCU, which remember that could have been Emily Blunt. So talk about timing and like opportunity and stuff like that. To now she's a household name, several Oscar nominations and stuff. So good on her for getting a check. And probably having a lot of fun because all of her scenes were Mahershala Ali, who's a great looking dude. He seems to be a fun person to collaborate with. And then Jonathan Bailey, who's up and coming. So she's just surrounded by hot ass dudes. I'm sure Colin Jost was sweating his boots over here. Like, man, I gotta be funny as fuck at home so she don't leave me.
I mean, come on now. She's a married. She just had a child with Colin Jost, man.
Yeah, but remember that was before Colin and Michael Che had that roast beef pussy joke on SNL. So, which apparently really pissed her off. Because did you see the last joke swap they did last season? So the last year, not this year, last year when they did their annual joke swap thing at the end of the season, Michael Che made Colin Jost this really crude roast beef pussy joke at, because of she gave birth and whatever. And so this year they made like Michael Che do this like fake apology to Scarlett Johansson. She came on and shit during Weekend Update. It was a whole thing, man.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. I think she was really upset about that joke, dude.
Yeah. Well, listen,
and I record her reaction in real time and shit, but you know what? Good for her for like capitalizing on this and stuff. The only issue I have with all that is like, and I'm not saying this has to be the way the world works, though, right? But is there a black actress that could have the same career trajectory?
Not anytime soon.
But is there a current actress that you feel like that we feel like should have this kind of same, her same like career achievement?
Taraji P. Henson.
Okay.
Taraji has done all the work. But for some reason, they just ain't fucking with her like that.
That Color Purple press tour, I think, kind of fucked her. I think she was very raw in her emotions and her feelings about that.
Yeah.
They were treated by the studio and Oprah, and I think that really hurt her because now she's in the Tyler Perry movie again.
But and 100%. But like, she was in her right to speak on that because it's like, how long are you gonna let them dick you around like that? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like I agree with her, but but also is ScarJo Johansson a better actress than Taraji P. Henson?
That's a good question.
I'll answer for you. No.
Yeah.
No, she's not. But she's more popular because one, she's a white woman and she's attractive, and they're always going to push white and attractive over anything else. Yeah, but that's just the industry. That's just the world, actually.
And if you're dark and handsome, you got to have that Mahershala Ali $1 million smile, man. Because that smile, that's what fucking. He was smiling so much in this movie. I was like, oh yeah, that's the. I've gotten like because like being in the studio system and stuff, and like you hear how people like think about casting and stuff like that. And I was just like, there was moments. It seemed like he packed on some pounds, right? I don't know if that's for this movie. Like his arms are kind of pumping up. I was like, oh yeah, Mahershala's like a really good looking dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, did you feel like he and Scarlett had more chemistry than Scarlett and Jonathan Bailey, who was supposed to probably be her love interest?
Yeah. I think so too.
Are they trying to? I was like, because they talked about Duncan split up with his wife because they lost their son. Which, by the way, there's a moment where Mahershala looks at this picture of like this black kid who's supposed to be his son. Right, we don't get any flashback scenes. It's just Mahershala looking longingly at this photo before his boat crashes because they got fucked up by these Spinosaurus swimming in the ship, right? And I remember laughing in the movie theater because I'm like, that's why acting is crazy sometimes because they have this like slow zoom on Mahershala's face and stuff as he's looking at this photo. A kid he's never met, It's like some stock photo that they took. You know what I mean? You've seen the listings for like, hey, kid for a stock photo, memory scene or some shit. And he's just looking at this kid, this random black boy, and just be like, I have to betray so much longing and sadness. It's like, acting really is crazy, man.
Yeah. It's nuts.
You're play pretending. They're going to pay millions of dollars to do it.
And you're just looking at this weird picture of this little kid. They're like, who the fuck is this? Now, hold on. Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if we did this. Did we do Home Alone 3 on this show?
Yeah.
Yes. Remember, she was a sister on that.
Oh, shit. Yeah, she's been working for
97.
Yeah.
I was trying to. I'm like, I remember we did a film that she was in when she was very young. I was trying to figure it out. Like that was the one. It was Home Alone 3.
I mean, I gotta say, man, I've been listening to like a lot of like old like radio interviews and stuff like that because as I'm doing podcasts and interviews, I want to like listen to the best. So I've been listening to like a lot of Howard Stern, even though he's kind of sometimes problematic and shit like that. And he was talking to Seth Rogen, right? And this new upcoming Emmy season, like Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, a bunch of those dudes from like Freaks and Geeks and stuff like that might get a lot of Emmy nominations, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, they've been working for like since like the mid 90s, right? And they're just now getting like awards recognition. Like Seth Rogen's done very well, right? Like box office success. But it's really interesting because when you see how long it takes for people to really break out, that's why right now, like as tough as things are, like at least for me, like in my career as an aspiring writer and like producer and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, this is like where I got to get through this to get to the success, to get to the big success, because that's what you have to. You can't give up halfway through the journey, and when things get tough, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, overnight success isn't a thing that's really synonymous with, especially people of colors in the business. So like, yeah, there's a lot of hard work that goes in, and then like the old saying of just like somebody may seem like it happened overnight, but what you didn't see is the 10, 15 years that they put into the business prior to just hitting that one thing, which then put them on your radar.
Yep. And then it's all like opportunity, right? It's all timing. Like Mahershala, right? I remember seeing him on the show called The 4400. It was on USA. And I think it came out like in 2004. It's like this weird sci-fi movie about 4,400 people disappeared and then they came back to Earth, and like it's kind of like them figuring out what happened to them and shit like that. And I remember seeing Mahershala. I'm like, this guy's interesting. And then he was in House of Cards on Netflix. And I think he actually got an Emmy nomination. I remember like just keeping tabs on him, and then he started really building a lot of momentum with Moonlight and other movies and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, yo, that's dope, right? Like, but like he had been working and acting for a long time before that. Yeah. It takes these little things, and you got to keep going, even when things get canceled and this get taken away from you. So to see Jonathan Bailey kind of blowing up as quickly as he is, and I'm like, he's fine. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of other pretty white boys I think could have been better in that role, but sure, he's fine. It's actually, I think our producer Lluvia, she found a few other folks that were in contention for that role. Glenn Powell declined the role, but praised the script. I imagine it's for that role.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
By the way, Loomis, the Loomis name is actually from Halloween, not Psycho. That's my bad.
Billy Loomis, right?
No, so Billy Loomis is actually for Dr. Loomis from Halloween. So that's I got Halloween and Psycho mixed up. But whenever you hear Loomis, it's an homage to the fucking Halloween. Gotcha. I even did it in my horror script that I just sent out and stuff like that. Okay, Rupert Friend and Nicholas Hoult were early casting considerations for Duncan Kincaid and Martin Krebs, respectively. Okay. Got it. Yeah, so there's a few other white guys in contention. Also, Jonathan Bailey's outfit early in the film mimics Dr. Grant's. He mentions working under him.
Yeah.
Which sorry.
Good. No. Which again, I like. Excuse me. I like that they paid some homage to the original. It's just like yeah, those people were important people. It's like, how can you talk about the dinosaur island, things like that, and not mention like some of those trailblazers? You know what I'm saying? Like their footprint should be on all of their fingerprint should be on all of this stuff to some degree.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because this movie, and based on the mission, would have made way more sense to get someone like a Dr. Alan Grant in this movie than Dominion. And the one brought back Laura Dern and like Jeff Goldblum. like that movie made no goddamn sense. And also, like, I think a Patriot's going to say this later on. At least this movie had dinosaurs, and like the threat was dinosaurs. The last movie, Locust and shit, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we talking about? So at least they went back to basics. So let's talk about the family and how these two teams converge, because it kind of works out. So this nigga, is played by Manuel Garcia Rufo. He plays Ruben Delgado, who's the worst father probably ever seen in cinema in the past 10 years.
Well, because, I mean, not necessarily.
Bro, this nigga, like, he has split custody with his wife, right? Yeah. Clearly things aren't great. And he's with his teenage daughter, her boyfriend, who, again, that young actor, I'm not a fan of him. Like, ever since we saw him in Cinnamon, I think he's very annoying. I don't think he gives 110% every take, like, for sure. Yeah. I feel like, and then his young daughter, how old do you think she is? 6? No, she's probably like 8.
No. She's like, I'd say like 9, 10. Okay, in that range.
Regardless, they were sailing, right? And then they get attacked by a Montosaurus or a Mosasaurus or something like that. This big ass,
basically a dinosaur whale.
Yeah.
A dinosaur killer whale.
But it's not the dinosaur from Jurassic World, the first one, right? But it's like similar to that species, right?
Yeah.
And that scene when they get shipwrecked actually gave me like what we've been talking about the past, I think, like for the last movie, we were like, okay, if you're gonna give us a world where now dinosaurs are roaming the earth freely, show us dinosaurs fucking shit up when people just trying to enjoy their lives.
Yeah. Pterodactyl. You're done.
That's what I loved about that scene. I was like, oh shit, like we're actually like this family's trying to enjoy a trip. They're getting fucked up. They get capsized and stuff like that. That shit scared the fuck out of me though, because I'm like, well, why would you actually stay in this area though?
Well, that's the thing. Like, apparently the route that they were making was seemingly like a safe route. And it's like, there's tons of boats that go over there all the time. It's just like, it was your day. Knock, nigga.
I guess, but like dinosaurs are still out here, man. I'm not sure if I would be sailing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but you also got to look at the fact it's like dinosaurs and things like that. All of these things, like they're gonna migrate to some degree, and also with fucking global warming, their territory is going to expand.
Oh, I wonder if there's a line about that, and similar to what they did in Twisters, they kind of took out any mention of global warming and shit.
Possibly,
because that makes a lot of sense. Actually, what you just said. Is that global warming would change these projections of like where they actually would be.
Yeah, because they're saying like, because they're by the equator and yada, yada. But yeah, like, you know, things are changing. Times are steady changing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even irregardless, you would still have like areas that are like no travel zones. Like, you know, it would just be such a wide range of.
No, but there is, but they weren't in that area. They weren't in that forbidden zone because like they said, like, hey, you're not allowed to go anywhere close to that island and whatnot. But like, and that's an international. Everybody's just like, stay away from there because you go there, we ain't coming to get you. But they were nowhere over there because after they went, they went off the boat. They were still about like 30 miles away, but they were close to the island. And then they had to go 30 miles the opposite way just to get to them to save them from where they were.
Yeah, because Duncan gets a
distress signal,
and they go to pick up. Like, even though like the rich guy from the pharmaceutical company is like, do we have to? And they're like, yeah, man. Like there's somebody out here that needs help, and these aren't safe. This isn't safe. So we gotta do our best, right? So yeah, they pick up the family, and then they still go sailing towards the monster that just destroyed this family's boat. A bunch of Spinosaurus pop up, niggas start getting killed, but they're able to successfully shoot this big ass dinosaur, it gets blood DNA because it's like a little tube that fills up and then it explodes off the body and then it creates a little parachute and you got to catch it, which I was like, that's insane. Yeah. You know the timing of that?
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're saying that how thick was that glass? Because that shit, especially when they were getting the big ass pterodactyl hybrid thing, and he's slamming against that cave with the, hanging and shit. I'm like, that thing broke, right?
Well, no.
The egg DNA. I'm like, there's no way this is still intact.
Well, I imagine it's probably like not just like normal glass. We're talking about probably like triple plated glass, something like that. But that's why they extracted it from an egg, because it's like, you can't fuck with those things. The pterodactyl, like, crazy dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, that's what was so weird. Sometimes Zora seemed unhinged, and I think that's more like Scarlett Johansson's performance. But there was moments where I'm like, "Lady, do you know how you're gonna die? Like, this mission is not gonna be successful."
She's just like,
all three DNA samples.
Like, hey, we can just go ahead and rappel off this mountain. That was nice, right? That was nice, right? It was like she's a Zumba instructor. I'm like, no, it's not nice.
And this poor Spanish family's just watching these white people like fucking shooting dinosaurs. We gotta
luckily, they weren't around for most of that. They caught them after they got they got the first one, and then after that, they saw them at that little like. I guess the research center at the end.
Because what ends up happening is the pharmaceutical dude. Why does he kick the older sister off again? Because she saw him.
No, because she was going. Distress, right? Yeah, they were going to do a distress call, because after they got that beacon on the blood of the first water dinosaur, the dinosaurs came back with the squad. They're just like, yo, this nigga shot me. And it was just like, oh, we shooting niggas now, huh? Now we gonna have to kill you. And then it's like 8 dinosaurs showed up. It was just like, guess what? It's clobbering time. And they start fucking up the boat. They say they trying to chase him into the rocks. Like, they're like, nah, it is time to die. And then, she's like, hit the distress, but because they're not supposed to be there, like, you can't make that distress signal. And also because, greedy white rich man wants to make that good money. He's just like, hey, get out of here. And then, that leads to him like letting her fall off the boat.
Yeah, the boat tips over and she's like, save me. And he's just like, bye-bye. Because he doesn't kick her, right? He just lets her fall off.
Yeah, he lets her fall off. He doesn't even try. And that's the thing, is like, that's the weird thing about these shitty white people in these movies. All you gotta do is pretend like you're trying. You can just be swaying, and just like, you can't get there.
He was gonna choke the fuck out of her. He was gonna like hurt her because she was trying to call. So like, he already was like, and she's like, I'm gonna tell my dad. And so he's already like, well, now I ruffled too many feathers, so I gotta. The fact that she fell off, she's like,
but you know what? All can be forgiven with you not letting somebody fall into fucking monster-ridden waters.
Yes, that's true. Because I'm sure she would have rather been like, I'll keep my mouth shut to avoid all the trauma that her and her family went through for the rest of this movie.
Exactly.
I gotta say, one of the best. That was what was frustrating about this movie. This movie has some of the worst sequences in acting performances in the whole series, and some of the best sequences in the whole series. Because that raft scene, when she like goes to the boat, gets the raft, the T-Rex is sleeping, and it disappears, and like all that stuff. Like before, like in Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, when they did gimmicks like that, it was kind of like eye rolly. But Gareth Edwards is so good at the way that he did the visuals and that he built the tension, even though they wouldn't have gone away on that raft. Let's be honest, they would.
Listen, that was also fucking ridiculous.
Yes, but it was so cool.
That was ridiculous. You're telling me a T-Rex, which was running about like 40 miles per hour in the first one, when he was chasing the car, right?
Yeah,
I believe it was 40 miles per hour. Excuse me.
Might even been more. Remember, he was in 4th gear trying to get away from it. So
yeah, but those cars were on a track. You know what I'm saying?
No, we were talking about. No. Goldblum's in the back and the T-Rex is chasing him, right?
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. It's like those cars were also the cars that were originally from the track that then got off the track, and now it's driving freely. So it's probably had all this extra gear and shit.
It's different. That was a Jeep. You're thinking about the ones. Sorry, I'm a big fucking geek about this shit. Because the ones that were on the track is the big kind of station wagon kind of thing. Because remember, like the kids in the back,
right? I thought those were Jeeps too.
I mean, it might have been like Jeep might have been a sponsor, but they didn't look like Jeeps. I don't know. I would have to go back and watch it again.
Irregardless. So either way, so we have this
There's a friend from Universal listening to this, like, Brandon's such a fucking nerd about this shit.
Yeah. He is so nerdy ass, Brandon. So we have this T-Rex, which obviously can move at, a decently high speed. Probably not for a long time, but can move at a high speed, right? And it's chasing somebody that's paddling a boat.
With their hands, right? They didn't even have paddles.
No. They had a paddle. I think they only had one paddle.
But a paddle.
Yeah. So,
mind you, the dad's fucked up at this point, right? Isn't his ankle all fucked up? Which
he fucked up his leg.
Tati was like, he's dead because there's no way that he's able to get around this fucking island.
Mm-hmm. Also, so the paddle in the boat. Now, all right, they're gonna say, well, I mean, the T-Rex was running in water, so it's not necessarily as quick because they're running water. Okay, I'll give you that. But still, let's say the T-Rex is running about 15 miles per hour. So as fast as I've ever run, 15 miles per hour, maybe as a kid. Yeah. So now we're talking about 15 miles per hour and niggas paddling on boats. Yeah. And they're outrunning a T-Rex. Then the T-Rex decides, I'm just gonna swim after these niggas. And swims underwater and gets in front of them, just like, into my mouth you go. And they fall off the boat. And you tell me this T-Rex was not able to get near one of them? Not one of them? They could have gave us one person to be our sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, I definitely thought Xavier, the boyfriend, was going to get got because he's such an asshole at the beginning when we first meet him. He's such like a loser. And then they like had him over. He like kind of bonds with Ruben. And like the girlfriend keeps defending him, saying like he's a dummy, but he means well, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you got to kill Xavier because the way that they tortured that little girl, Isabella goes through it. Like literally she gets separated because the T-Rex knocks him off the fucking raft. And then she's by herself trying to get through this like fucking rock.
Well, she was underneath the raft.
Yeah. And then the T-Rex is going at the raft, which I was like, yo, this little girl's so fucked up. Like,
yeah.
She's like, what did I do, Lord? Like, what did I do to
protect Help me, please.
And the dad's just like, my baby. I'm like, you do not deserve to procreate ever again, Ruben.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. This is not his fault. They didn't mean to be by these damn things. How's
he didn't need to take them sailing. He didn't need to take them sailing.
Well, his daughter's going off to college. And so she's like, I'm not going to war. I'm going to NYU. Well, no, he's going to get that. She's start catching that New York Puerto Rican dick. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't ready for that. So he's just like, I want time with my kids. But then, this dummy is with him. He's like, whatever. But like sailing is probably his thing. Like that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Then he gets hooked up with weird white people, and they take him to an island packed full of dinosaurs.
Yes.
So how are you blaming him, Brandon? How are you blaming him when all he tried to do is spend time with his girls, and then some white man takes him to an island of dinosaurs?
Yeah, I will say Tatiana was not a fan of that storyline because she's like, this makes Brown father looks so incompetent. He was just constantly
but that's the thing. It's just like it depends how you look at it. But
if you and your sons end up on an island full of dinosaurs because you're in this situation and you get back home, you're gonna immediately be like, Paula, I want to let you know this is not my fault.
Yes, absolutely.
Axel doesn't talk anymore, and we'll work through that. But this is not my fault.
Lennox doesn't talk anymore, and Axel has a hunk taken out of his ass. But just a little nibble by a Paleosaurus.
He might have lost 2 toes to a Dilophosaurus, but he's okay.
Yeah,
he's all right.
So, but that's what I'm saying. It's just yes, it seems really bad for him, but their ship got capsized. That's not on him, right? You run into some shit in the water. That could have been a normal whale could do that to you. You know what I'm saying?
I guess in this world, because he has a very analog, like old school boat. Mm-hmm. I think at that point, given the world we're living in, he needed to have some type of like technology that allowed him to know like if something's nearby. You know what I mean? At least some type of sonar technology.
But that's he saw it. He saw it.
Well, yeah, because the nigga was so big, you can't avoid seeing that in the ocean.
No, but that's the thing. He saw it, and he was just like, okay, let's stay away from that. And the thing is just like, hey, y'all, what's up? So it's like there's nothing that he could. Literally, there's not much that he could do about that. Not his fault, right? But then he gets saved by literally the worst boat that you could get saved from that takes him to a dinosaur island. How are you blaming this man? He's trying to do the best that he can.
I'm waving at Jackson in the background. He's just peeping his head into. Folks, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Jackson just peering his head. I think that's Jackson.
Yeah, that's Jackson.
He's like, hey, look at Daddy recording.
Yeah, that's, you know when I'm upstairs, we're here for the bullshit. Is he?
No, he's gone now.
Oh, God.
What did you think of that scene with the boyfriends taking a piss, and then all the Dilophosaurus are creeping up on them, and then they get killed?
I felt like they were just trying. They wanted to make a funny scene for him. I don't think that was it. I think that they could have cut that. We didn't need that. Unless you were gonna make that a bigger scene. It's just like I felt like it was a throwaway thing. They were trying to be cute. I could have done without it. It's like,
yeah. Also, didn't it look like that was the worst CGI scene too? In a way, like the Dilophosaurus looked better in the earlier scene, and then like when I was just like, man, this is like.
Wait, yeah, you're right. That was a Velociraptor. Those are two Velociraptors.
Those are raptors? I thought they were Dilophosaurus.
No. I think those are raptors. And then that fucking flying thing just came and snatched that bitch up. And the other one's just like, nope.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, because
why would they have raptors and T-Rexes on this island full of hybrid, made-up dinosaurs?
Because probably when everything went wrong, they got out of their cages. Mm-hmm. But those are also
their DNA to help with the hybrid dinosaurs.
Well, I mean that weird bird thing that was chasing them around, that was a hybrid of a Velociraptor. The one when they were actually in like the gas.
Yeah, that shit was weird. Yeah,
because it had the claw and then like it actually went into the tunnels underneath. It was just like I was like, yeah, that shit was wild. But I think it was interesting because they always say that dinosaurs are like a cross between like birds and shit like that. It would be a modern day birds, but large and obviously very fucking hungry. But I like how they leaned into the whole bird thing because when they gave us those birds, the birds were like the most fierce and crazy thing that you came across, outside of the fucking Resident Evil monster.
Yeah. It was funny because I watched this video on YouTube where a paleontologist basically talked about like the accuracy of the Jurassic Park dinosaurs. And I'm talking like the Velociraptors and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, so Velociraptors, like, and he showed this little like nail. He's like, this is how big their claws are. The movie has them being like this big. Velociraptors were like barely like 5 foot and shit like that. He talked about how small they are, like in comparison to movies. I was just like, I turned it off. I was like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Steven Spielberg knew what he was doing. Shut the fuck up. You fucking nerd.
Well, guess what? In fake land, Velociraptors are fearsome. So go eat a dick, Mr. Paleontologist.
When it comes to fictional dinosaur representation, that's when I go full MAGA. Facts don't matter. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck the science.
Yeah, but it was so funny that like how like the family gets separated, right? And then like they're just going through all kinds of hell. And Mahershala Ali and like them are still trying to get this fucking DNA. It's like, yo, the compare, like, the differences in the missions at hand are like hilarious.
Yeah.
One's like, they're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And the other just like, get this money, baby.
One is like, it's like they're going through the movie The Warriors, and the other ones have a circle jerk with fucking brontosaurus type fucking animals. I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, man, we're okay. So they get back together at the gas station because they're all trying to go to the pickup spot for the helicopter. Because Zora basically was like, I have contingency plans. And so they don't hear from us. If my extraction team doesn't hear from us by this point, they know to send a helicopter at this time, at the second sunset of the fucking third day or whatever. Mm-hmm. So then that's when everyone rendezvous. But then, of course, the rich pharmaceutical dude's like, fuck this noise. Like, because you guys try to still help this family, I'm going to go to the helicopter. But then they're not accounting for the big escaped Freakazoid dinosaur that then comes and blows up the helicopter. That was kind of funny because I was like, oh, well, how y'all gonna get out of this?
Yeah.
Like, it felt weird because it felt like there's a lot of throwbacks to the original Jurassic Park, but also Congo. You know what I mean? Like, didn't you like when someone asked me like, how was Mahershala? Like after I did the press screening, they were like, how was Mahershala? I was like, he's great. He's basically Ernie Hudson from Congo. You know what I mean? He's basically that character in Jurassic Park. He's the fun black guy that's like, you white people are crazy, but you know, let's get this money. Like,
I'm going to take care of the ape. You know he had that fucking English accent that he was doing?
Was he doing the accent?
In Ernie Hudson in fucking Congo. He had that really strong English accent.
It's because I'm black. Yeah, it's really...
Yeah. Like, here, I'll take care of the ape. Like, yeah, it was like very strong, like fucking, and like very like strongly enunciated fucking English accent.
Also, if it felt like Mahershala Ali's Duncan character was supposed to die at the end when he sacrifices himself to distract the big dinosaur, that's because he was meant to die. But because the test screenings liked this character so much, Gareth Edwards, director, opted for a version where he lived. Even though Mahershala Ali didn't want that to happen, because I think he was like, man, I'm trying to do a one and done thing with y'all. Like, I don't need to come back for a sequel, man.
Hold on. Was Ernie Hudson's character in Congo named Duncan?
I don't think so, but I'll check.
I don't know why I'm getting a Duncan vibe. I was like, wait a second, is that are they named the same? But like, yeah, the fact that Mahershala lived,
Captain Moreau Kelly, yes.
Okay. No, I was like, okay. For some reason, I thought there was a Duncan in there. But yeah, the fact that he lived was nuts to me. I was just like, how? Sway?
Oh yeah, he would have been eating the fuck up for sure.
Only thing that I could say is just like the dinosaur was following the light, and then he just throws the light over one way, and the dinosaur goes after it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then again, this nigga just pitched up another one later on, so it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, but like, there ain't no way he should have survived.
Yeah, and then you know the rich pharmaceutical dude, he gets devoured by the big, the Stortus Rex or whatever the fuck. Kind of anticlimactic, honestly, compared to how other previous Jurassic World villains have died. It's obviously, the smarmy white business guy that gets got, but I still think the best villain death in this whole series is Nedry in the first one, when he's in that truck after getting spit on by the Dilophosaurus, and he gets ripped apart. I'm like, that's still, because like these villains are so egregious sometimes. You're like, yo, you deserve to get like the worst kind of punishment, right? And after one bite, you're done. Like this guy, like as soon as the thing chomps on him, he's done, right? And I know a lot of people are probably like, Brandon, how much pain do you want this guy to go through? I'm like, yo, he fucking let a young girl almost die, right? He thought she was dead.
Yep.
He doesn't give a fuck about any of the humans. It's just all about money to him. He's seeing people die left and right, has no fucking remorse or a kind of emotion. Like we need the sociopath dead. He doesn't need to be around anymore, especially in a world where dinosaurs are running freely. Fuck that.
You know what? I'm really thinking about it. Like, dude getting killed, in the first one, that really may be like one of the worst deaths. Because, like, yeah, he's locked in the car with it, and it just rips him apart. Alive.
Or maybe Jurassic World, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, The Lost World. Maybe when that guy get killed by the little baby T-Rex. Because his leg gets bit by a T-Rex, and, like, it drags him, and then the little T-Rex starts, like, eating him. So maybe that might be worse. Because you're talking about a T-Rex that can't fully devour you, so it's just biting chunks of you at a time.
Yeah.
That might be rough. That might be a rough way to go.
Yeah. Wasn't somebody
a lot of external organs?
Okay. Wasn't there somebody that was like ripped apart by fucking like pterodactyls and shit like that? In the last one, in the
Dominion.
No. I mean, in that last
trilogy, that guy got killed by Dilophosaurus. And there was pterodactyls in Jurassic Park 3, but there wasn't really a corporate villain. Remember, that was just like a rescue movie.
No, I'm talking about in the second trilogy.
Vincent D'Onofrio just gets killed by a velociraptor. It's pretty like basic. The person that got the worst death in Jurassic World is the fucking assistant who got like was supposed to babysit the kids, and she gets, it's like one of the worst deaths in the whole series where she gets dragged up and then bopped around and fucking dropped into
that's the one I was thinking about. I was like, gee.
And it was like, what the fuck did she do? But apparently there's a deleted scene or two where she's like just really mean to the kids. And so that was supposed to be like the representation of why she got the up and comings that she did. But because we had none of that context, it's just a really brutal death for that woman. You're like, Jesus Christ.
But being an ass, being a kind of a dickhead to kids doesn't mean that you get fucking that kind of death. Like, Jesus. But they were white kids, so I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the Spanish kids. The Spanish girl in this series, the little girl gets the worst trauma out of everybody in this whole fucking series.
No, in this whole fucking thing. I don't even think the little white boy from the first one got it this bad.
I would say her and Tim are pretty equal because Tim had the fucking, not only like, the T-Rex, but that was also him and his sister. But then he had the fridge scene. He got electrocuted. But the little girl, man, when that T-Rex is coming after her when she's under that raft, because that's like semi-drowning. You got to deal with the T-Rex trying to kill you. And then your dad's a fucking idiot. Like, it's just all going bad.
I don't know why you're so hard on this dad,
really did not like the dad. I thought the dad was
Brandon.
So egregious.
But let's hear it for the boys. Jesus Christ.
Well, let's see what some other folks had to say about Jurassic World Rebirth before we get our final review. Our producer Lluvia pulled some reviews from Letterboxd. The first one's from
Letterboxd.
9E Mac 9E, who wrote, all I can think about was how insane that kid's college essay is going to be. 2.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah.
Well done.
At least this is a world though where like people know that the dinosaurs are real, right? Because remember in Jurassic Park 2, remember they had to sign an NDA. So basically the kids got paid off to not talk about their experience at the park.
Yeah.
So they couldn't talk about it. At least now it's like, yo, y'all know dinosaurs are out here. This is what I dealt with and shit. You know what I mean? Jay wrote, the best part about this film is Christopher Nolan's Odyssey teaser trailer playing right before. 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah, so on the IMAX screenings, they're showing the teaser for Christopher Nolan's movie that's coming out next year. I've seen the leaked trailer of it with Tom Holland and John Barenthal. You see some flashes of Matt Damon as Ulysses. Ulysses, or is it Ulysses?
Ulysses.
Ulysses. And I think John Leguizamo's doing a voiceover, so that cast is fucking stacked, dude. That might be one of like the most story casts of all time.
Okay, all right.
You know who's in it?
No,
dude. It's Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Charlize Theron, Lupita Nyong'o, Corey Hawkins, John Leguizamo, John Barenthal. Basically, like everyone but Denzel's in this fucking thing. It's crazy. Yeah, okay. Dude. And that's like barely scratching the surface of it. It's nuts. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a review from Clements, who wrote, the best part of this movie is clearly Jonathan Bailey and his slutty little glasses. Shh. 2.5 out of 5 stars. All right. Someone clearly masturbated in the movie theater. And then David Chen wrote, I've forgotten how nice it was to watch a Jurassic movie that doesn't star Chris Pratt. Damn, 3.5 out of 5 stars.
People really turned on Chris Pratt.
He was like very religious. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I think his
a little maybe conservative leaning, but like it's not like he's ever been like I'm full MAGA and like Trump and blah blah blah. But I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, people are not about Chris Pratt anymore.
Lluvia said he was forced down our throats after a while. I don't agree with that because I was a fan of him on Parks and Rec. I thought he was fucking as Andy Dwyer. He was so fucking funny on that. And then he got Guardians after that. I think, he just like his reps just did their jobs. They're like, yo, we can get you Garfield. We can get you Mario. You can do Jurassic Park. Like, that's not his fault that like people were interested in working with him.
I think it's also because he was.
And a Ferris thing. Oh, yeah. Because they got divorced and like they have a kid, I think, that has special needs. And like, I guess like in his social media, it seems like he favors the kid he has with the Schwarzenegger daughter.
Oh, yeah.
With Anna Faris. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that could very much. Yeah. And
I do think it's weird that he did both the voice of Mario and Garfield. And he just does his voice. It's not like he changes it.
Yeah.
Changes it at all.
Yeah. He's just like, this is me.
Yeah.
Especially with Mario. That one's like.
Yeah, Lluvia, our producer in the chat, said he's no voice actor, 100%. Yeah, it's just he's just Chris Pratt. But like,
why don't you contact a real voice actor who needs the money?
So we did get some Patriot thoughts. And remember, folks, when you sign up for Patreon at patreon.com/mediapopcorn, give your day out your thoughts and reviews read on that episode. So Mr. Glad wrote, I checked out after the family got in the raft boat with paddles and outran a T-Rex. Throughout the Jurassic Park movies, we have seen the T-Rex bite through everything they wanted, except the raft boat. Okay, fair enough. And then Sean Simmons wrote, I mean, at least this Jurassic World movie was about dinosaurs and not giant locusts. That's really the only thing that this movie had going for it. Familiar plot, feels like a mix between Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. It hits all the normal beats of a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movie. So if you're just in for that, then you'll be pleased. Great cast, but absolutely does nothing with them. I don't really care that these people go to this restricted island to essentially hit bank for a new drug. You kind of feel for Lincoln Lawyer's family. Oh, that's what the actor's from? Okay. But damn, they put the youngest child through a lot, and dad did absolutely nothing. Thank you, Sean. I guess the out was him jacking up his leg early on. Rolling eyes emoji. We've seen 6 of these, so we know that Rupert Fine is the bad guy, is going to die, and maybe Mahershala. Speaking of which, how did he survive? They must have tested this, and audiences crapped on him sacrificing himself and slid him back in. Mutant dinosaurs didn't do it for me. The main dinosaur was more comical of anything looking like Alien/Predator. Just give me a good old T-Rex. The introduction of the T-Rex in this may have been my favorite moment. Same. I really love that scene. That was different. Homie was asleep like I may have been like if I hadn't had my phone. Damn, Sean, don't be taking out your phone in the movie theater, bro. We talk about this all the time in the show. The quote, to quote a review I read, this is a lot going on in the Jurassic World Rebirth, and yet nothing. Well, see you all for Jurassic Park 8. You know it's coming because people like me are always going to see it at least once in the theater. Laughing emoji. Yeah, they're going to keep making these. These are just print money, like for sure. So Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Radium system?
Ratings. Okay. Radiant.
And stop calling me baby, you bitch. All right, guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the excellent for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So, Brandon, we sat down and we watched Jurassic World Rebirth. Not like I said to my neighbor when I called it Afterbirth, but Rebirth, starring Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and a bunch of other actors who did a decent job in this, I feel, considering. What say you, Brandon?
Quick aside, one of my favorite jokes ever on The Office is when Michael Scott takes a sip of wine and he says, has an okie afterbirth, which is completely insane. It's one of my favorite lines of all time. Like, I say it all the time when I have a drink wine, and Tati hates it because she knows exactly what it's from and exactly what I'm doing. And she just like, if people don't have context, they think you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a medium. It's definitely, like I said, step up between from the last 2 Jurassic World movies we've gotten for sure.
Yes.
I think the T-Rex scenes are some of the best in the series. Like that rap scene's been a long time coming because it's in the book. It's in the first book. And it's pretty cool. Like they executed it was really well, but of course it comes at the expense of the trauma of a brown young girl, which is so fucked up. But it just felt like 2 different movies a lot of the time. And like, I get like, you're saying it's kind of a throwback to the first one, but the first one definitely felt more cohesive because they were connected, right? Like, cause the kids are connected to Hammond and like all this stuff. Right. So I just wish it was a little bit more connected. Like it didn't feel like 2 separate movies. I wish that, they had recognized that Mahershala and Scarlett have more chemistry than Scarlett and Jonathan. So maybe play around with that, but you also know how people feel about interracial relationships and shit. These days it's fucking topsy-turvy, but yeah, solid medium though. The graphics were great except for that one scene with the boyfriend. I thought that Gareth Edwards did his thing for only having like about a year to put this together. Like I think he did the best he could, and some of the dinosaur scenes were really cool. What's your rating, Justin?
Like honestly, I'm between a medium and a large because I'm gonna give it the large because for one, I didn't think I was gonna like this. I was ready to be like, here we go. Here's some more bullshit, especially after the last 2 films that we got. But I was actually happily surprised by this film. I think that Scarlett Johansson did a really good job with it, Mahershala Ali, and just like the whole cast as a whole. And like, the story wasn't as tight as some of the previous films that we've gotten in the entire, like, I guess, this universe. But I thought they did a decent job of giving us something to enjoy. Yeah, these some of the mutant dinosaurs were just weird and not necessarily all that cool. But it did add something fresh to a series that's been around since I was a kid, which, I can definitely always appreciate. So I'm going to give it a large.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That's our review on Jurassic World Rebirth. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at MediumP Podcast. Get on that. Follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads. I'm posting about shows, got some Trump Black history stuff coming up, as well as some fun shows happening in Brooklyn that are movie centric. So if you love this podcast, definitely check that out. And Justin, how can people follow you as well as support the show financially, in case they forgot?
Well, guys, you can follow me at JBrownDid on all the social media platforms, but you can follow the show. You can support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages right on Patreon. So guys, if you love this show and you want more, Patreon is where it's at. Again, that is patreon.com/mediumpopcorn.
There you go, folks. All right, y'all. We hope you enjoyed our trip back to the islands of dinosaurs, and we will talk to you all next week. Peace.